third quarter, we're trying to build sustainable habits. And the biggest part of building sustainable habits is having a sustainable approach and a sustainable mindset. NBA games are hard. Winning's hard, especially on the road. And we have to find a way as a group collectively to maintain focus and to dig in when things get hard. We should expect them to be hard. And I think the last group that was on the floor tonight really played with a ton of intensity, a ton of passion. They played together. They kept the game simple. And they represented themselves and us really, really well. When you play a good team like the Thunder on the road, the margins are thin. And they have an ability to blow a game open because of how potent they are offensively. But right now for me, as we're building our team, building our program, and trying to become a team that's hunting a championship, the first thing we have to address is our mindset every night. And we need people that are willing to dig in. And be physical and be tough and just sort of let it rip no matter what's going on in the game. I think that's the part for me that I'm most focused on right now. There's tactical things, sure. There's technique things that need to be cleaned up. But overall, for me, it comes down to the approach that we're taking. I think the team practices hard. I think they watch film. I think they work on technique, both in individual workouts and our team practices. But right now, when we go on the road, we don't quite have the appropriate mindset to sustain 48 minutes. And so that's our next objective.
Coach, when you say players let it rip, I want to start with Simone because I thought he had that type of attitude and had that intensity from the opening tip. And it was 14 at the half, but he continued, I thought, to play one of his better games, 19 points, and also a career high in block shots with 4.
Yeah, Simone, all those things that I just talked about, Simone represents. His intensity day to day, his competitiveness on every possession is something that we're looking for in our program. I think Simone is a good representation of who we want to be. Somebody that's maximizing everything that he's got every single night, doesn't make excuses, and is willing to just compete no matter what the scenario is, whether the game's going his way or not. So I'm proud of the work that Simone is doing and has done, and he knows there's more work ahead of him.
Coach, I've never heard you use this as an excuse. It's the league, it happens. You're missing 3 key players, right? Sure. Is there something to all the work that's been put in and reps and guys that you're used to playing with, something that potentially can disrupt rhythm offensively when you don't, and defensively when you don't have those guys there, right?
Yeah, absolutely. All the things I just said, I'm not naive to the situation. But you guys know me, like I'm never going to sit here and make an excuse, and I'm also not going to sit here and blow smoke. I want our program to be competitive, and that starts with me. I think our team can win every night. Like, that's my job. I'm not running a basketball camp. And I want the team to know that I believe in them every night. I think the fact that there's people out is always going to be a part of the league. But I don't think that I'm doing the players that took the floor. I think I'd be doing them a disservice if I sat here and said, well, tonight's game was hard because we were missing 3 players. we expect the same standards from everybody that wears our jersey. And so, yeah, you're right. Like, that is a very real thing, that there are people that are out right now. But I believe in the guys in our locker room. I watch them work every day. I'm in it with them. Like, I'm not a perfect coach. I'm trying to continue to improve my process and grow with our group. I'm not a finished product either, but I just want the guys that are in our program to demand and expect more of themselves, because I know that I'm hard on myself after every game, and I want them to be the same way. We're all trying to do the same thing. We want to win, and we do it together. We lose together. Like, we didn't lose because of the players. We lost because of all of us today. So, yeah, I think, there's always – having perspective is always good and healthy. But perspective doesn't do much for you in the middle of a game. We're all out there competing, and we're trying to win the game. We're also trying to represent our organization, our fan base, the state of Utah every single night when we take the floor.
Coach, Thurl and I talked about the growth again of Keyonte tonight. He was, career high 30. Mm-hmm. Did not back down from an incredible high-level talent in SGA. Just break down where you think his growth is, and how much did he actually take a step tonight?
Yeah, Keontae's getting better and better. We're encouraging him to be more aggressive, looking for his own shot. I think tonight was a good example of that. He's got a ton of ability. He can shoot off the dribble. He can get in the paint. He's a good passer. He's got good feel. I think he's trying to figure out that balance every single night. And, any time that you go on the road and you play against before you get to SGA, like, they're a really good team. And so you're playing a good team on the road. It's a great challenge for Keyonte. And so for him to play well it's a positive for sure. He's somebody that, we're heavily invested in his development, and he's putting the work in and he's seeing the results. But I think Keyonte be the first person to tell you, like, he knows that this isn't guaranteed every night. That, yeah, he had a good game, but there's things he could have done better, and he's going to try to seek those things out and keep refining his process, because ultimately we want him to be a guy that, is able to play at this level every night. That's what he's hunting, is the consistency piece. So I think tonight is obviously good for his mentality, because he's now seen himself do it. There's always a part of your brain that's like, I don't really know if I can actually do it. And so when you have a game like tonight, that's good for him to know that it's possible. And now it's about replicating it.
Final question to T.
Taylor Hendricks also getting some reps at this level. Mm-hmm. Talk about what you've seen in him in the last few games.
Yeah, Taylor has represented himself really well. Obviously, he's played against a lot of high-level offensive players the last couple of games, which is good, because we're wanting Taylor's mentality to first be on the defensive end of the floor. And so to play a game in Dallas and to see those two guys, to play against the Clippers and see their team, and then to come here and play against a really good offensive team in the Thunder and a player like Shea, it's good for Taylor, because he sees what's out there. He gets to feel those moments and understand what guarding a top player really feels like in the moment. So, and all the discipline that's necessary. So this is great experience for Taylor. I'm happy that he's been able to get some good minutes, because I think it shows him areas that he needs to continue to improve. But it's also, there's nothing like an NBA game. You can't simulate it. The G League is great. It's good experience. It's not like playing at Oklahoma City, that's for sure.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, guys.